As many of you know, the Endles event starts this weekend. If you haven't decided what to play yet, then I'm here to help. Over the past week or so, I've been practicing with 3 different characters. There was the Absolution character. That was really strong, but died too many times. There was also Pathfinder with Poisonous Concoction. That was also very strong, but again, died too many times. I've decided to go Hierophant, Mind Over Matter, with Armageddon brands. This is incredibly strong, and it's possibly one of the most defensive characters I've ever played so far. It's died twice through the levelling process. Obviously, I leveled through the axe because you can't start in Delve yet. And once I got to maps, instead of doing maps, I went and ran Delve instead. Hello Exile, you're watching Altek2k. So, how does the build work? Let's find out. First of all, it's important to note that all footage is filmed on a 5-link, and not even the right 5-link. I kept in faster attacks instead of cruelty, and that's because I dropped a 5-link blue, and not a 4 red 1 blue. It's also important to note that my gear is absolutely terrible. It's all dropped, none of it has been purchased. And it's all self-crafted. But despite that, each of my brands is doing 455,000 DPS, and we have 7 of them. I leveled the character with Spark to start with until we got to level 12. We then switched to Storm brand before finally switching to Armageddon brand at level 28. My early game 3-link was Spark added Lightning Onslaught or Storm brand added Lightning Onslaught. And before we switched to Storm brand, I also used Homely Flame Totem with Combustion. And once we got the second rune can be attached, we lose the Holy Flame Totem, which means we went to Orb of Storms and added Lightning. Our Armageddon brand 4-link is Armageddon brand, Combustion, Faster Casting, and Conk Effect. Once we get to our 5-link, drop Faster Casting, and switch to Immolation, and also add Cruelty. And for our 6-link, add Fire Penetration. This will give us Armageddon brand, Combustion, Conk Effect, Immolation, Cruelty, and Fire Pen. Our auras, in order of importance, are Clarity, Herald of Ash, and Herald of Thunder. We get loads of mana reservation efficiency to make sure we use very little because we want as much mana as possible for Mind Over Matter. We should switch to Mind Over Matter as soon as it feels safe. I switched around level 50, I think. So how's the character played? First things first, you're going to drop all your brands, you're then going to walk around, you're going to drop Orb of Storms, which curses people. We will switch this out for a ring eventually. Our curse of choice is a very defensive one, it's Temporal Chains. This will slow them down an awful lot, and also reduce their action speed so they're attacking you slower. I have this set up in my weapon, it's Orb of Storms, Hex Touch, and Temporal Chains. We're then going to deploy Scorching Ray totems, which will be Scorching Ray, multiple totems, and Spell Totem. This is in my gloves along with Steel Skin. Put Steel Skin on our left mouse click, so it's up all the time while we're moving. The reason we use Scorching Ray totems is it grants fire exposure, so they take more damage from our Armageddon brands. We get 4 power and endurance charges all the time from our Ascendancy as they're the new minimum. We get an extra power charge, but also we're going to use Blood Rage to generate 3 frenzy charges. This gives us extra movement speed and cast speed. And cast speed is very important for this build. The 2 main things we want to stack on this build are cast speed and critical strike chance. Cast speed doesn't just affect the speed at which we can cast brands, but also their activation frequency, so it will apply its damage more and more frequently the more cast speed you have. Now we're going to use brand recall frequently. We're actually going to spam it pretty much, and that's because it causes all our brands to drop on the floor immediately and deal damage. That gives us 7 brands worth of damage at once. This is about 3 million DPS, which for this investment is atrociously high. For those of you who use Path of Building, there'll be a link in the description below. If you don't, you'll notice I've been playing the actual leveling of the skill tree in the corner of the video. If you weren't paying attention, you might want to rewind and have a look. If you've liked this video, then please tickle the like button, it will like it a lot. Also, if you're lucky enough to have friends, remember to share this with them on social media. I haven't managed to take this build very far at all. I think I got to level 78 or 79. As the Endless Delve unfolds, I will be improving this build, and I will be posting updates to the Path of Building frequently. And if you have any questions or improvements, post them in the video comments, or you can catch me on Discord. And now for the Ascendancy. For our first Ascendancy point, we go Conviction of Power. This gives us 4 endurance and power charges all the time, with no need to charge them up. The second point goes to Sign of Purpose. This gives us 100% more activation frequency of brands if 75% of the attached duration has expired. It also gives Brand Recall 100% increased cooldown recovery rate. Next is Divine Guidance. This gives us 30% increased mana, 10% of damage is taken from mana before life, which stacks on top of our Mind Over Matter. It also gives us Transfiguration of Mind. Transfiguration of Mind gives us more damage for the more mana increases we have. So for each mana increase we have, 30% of that goes as increased damage. So 100% increased mana will give us 30% increased damage. For our last Ascendancy, there's 2 options. The first, and the most defensive one, is Sanctuary of Thought. This gives us an incredible amount of energy shields, basically 20% of our mana. It gives us 25% increased mana reservation efficiency, which helps mind over matter, and 1% increased over effect per 50 unreserved maximum mana up to 100%. And 50% less mana cost of skills. This is really good for mind over matter and its defensive capabilities. The alternative is Arcane Blessing. This gives us 30% increased effect of Arcane Surge on you, and we get Arcane Surge if we hit an enemy with a spell or totem. We can't hit with our totem, but we certainly can with our brands. If you decide to go with this build, I hope you have a great time. And with that, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.